Assalamu alaikum. This is Ted. I'm here just to share my book list with you guys this year in order to motivate myself to actually fulfill my book list and read all the books that I have set out to read, and as well to kind of motivate others. Maybe you can come up with your own book list after this and we can share it with each other. The first book that I'm going to be reading for this year is The Etiquettes of Seeking Knowledge. This is a book by Sheikh Bakr Abu Zaid. And before I get started reading all the other books, I wanted to make sure that I've got my etiquettes down. This is a review, actually. I've read this book before, but I just want to review it to make sure that I've got the right approach in terms of seeking knowledge. Now, not all the books I'm going to be reading this year are necessarily Islamic books, but just in general, I want to make sure that I have the right idea going into it. The second book I'm going to be reading is Emotional Intelligence, Dealing with Difficult People. This is an airport read. I actually picked this up in the airport in Washington, D.C. I haven't had a chance to go through it now, and I think it's one of those little valuable books that maybe can help us throughout our workplace stuff, our workplace interactions. It always is helpful to have different strategies to implement when you have to work with people that may be kind of challenging. The next book I have on my list is Commentary on the 11 Contentions. This is by Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad. I don't know a lot about this book, but hopefully it's pretty decent. I've seen some of his different YouTube videos out there on contemporary issues and something I'm interested in reading about. When I was living in Malaysia, I had a chance to pick up on Justice and the Nature of Man. This is a commentary on Surah An-Nisa, verse 58, as well as Surah Al-Mu'minun, verses 12 to 14 by Sheikh Muhammad Nuqayb Al-Attas. It's a very decent book, very well produced. But again, I'll get through that and maybe we can have a review later. The next book here is something I already started, but I haven't had a chance to finish. It's The 12 Rules of Life, or The 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, a very controversial author, and a lot of people really don't like him. So I just want to see what it's all about. Seems like it's pretty decent so far, but I'm going to start from the beginning again with that. The next book I have here is The Accessible Conspectus. This is by Sheikh or Abu Musa Ferber, who's a mufti in Shafi fiqh, and I just want to review this book as well. I had a chance to read through some parts, but I haven't read it from beginning to end, from cover to cover. A huge part of my time this year, really, I want to focus on Tajweed al-Quran, learning the rules and how to read Quran properly. I already been started. I started when I was in Saudi Arabia before with one of my teachers, and I hopefully will have a chance to link up with him again. And I continued in the Philippines when I was there. Tajweed is essential for getting connected to Quran. So I've got two different books on this. One by Hafs al-Ghazi, or Hafs al-Ghazi, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Tajweed Rules for Quranic Recitation. It's in English, it looks like a very decent book. And another book, Al-Quraniya, Introduction to Tajweed. This is another excellent book I had a chance to look through as well. This one's a little bit more of a beginner book, but it's going to help me, I hope, to review what I've already learned and to continue with my teachers later on. And then the last book on my list will be a review. It's actually a new edition of The Skillful Teacher. This is by Stephen Brookfield, and I read it for my graduate studies. I really enjoyed it then, and I'm going to, I think, enjoy it again when I read through it now. It's going to help me with my profession, hopefully, and to, review some of the things I had learned previously. And that's it. That's my book list. The reason for sharing it is just to stay motivated, to motivate myself, to kind of put some pressure on myself to actually follow through with what I say I want to read. Because you know how it is. You might end up buying a ton of books, and then they just stare at you off the bookshelf. You're not actually picking them up and reading. And in the age of social media and everything, we end up watching videos like this, and instead of actually reading, we end up just like taking up our time doing other things. Anyways, y'all, assalamu alaikum. Thanks for spending like 2 minutes with me. Take care.